Literally, I mean, we have people come in all the time. This is saving my life.
Dispensary don't care about that.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
So today on the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about Amendment 3.
All right.
That's I think it's important for us to talk about because what's being put out into the public on what it is and what the reality is when you read the bill.
A little misleading.
It's a bit misleading, right? Yeah. So you found something today that I think we should maybe talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I got a memo that came across, but we'll talk about a couple of things first before I get into that. But, to the basics, so that for people that, don't fully understand or haven't been following the medical program, right? Medical marijuana passed as a constitutional amendment back in 2016, and it was signed into law by Governor Rick Scott. Okay, so SB 8-A. Governor DeSantis actually had nothing to do with that bill. It was signed by Rick Scott. It's extremely restrictive, right? The doctor and the patient need to be in the same room for the first appointment. They must have one of the qualifying conditions. They must document it correctly, and there weren't any restrictions on the products that could be purchased. However, they didn't have products that were out, so we slowly rolled out smokable flower, which was first, I believe, and then edibles was after, or it was vice versa. I believe it was smokable flower first, because DeSantis actually pushed that through with John Morgan up on a podium in Tallahassee, which was great. It was a big move. I think people were very anti-smoke, at that point. But smoking is the most preferred route just because it's fast in and out and most control, and most people have done it before. But I'm not a smoker. I know you are, right? But so now, 8 years later, we're literally 8 years in November. Yeah, we have this Amendment 3 that was written by the CEO of the biggest dispensary here in Florida, who has spent $70 million on sponsoring this bill, right? And I saw this bulletin come across that says mega, and we'll pull this up on screen too, so I'm not just reading it, but it says Mega Marijuana Corporation Trulieve spending on Amendment 3 balloons to over $70 million. Florida Politics reported this morning that the mega marijuana company Trulieve has now spent over $70 million to support Amendment 3. The influx in spending comes as Trulieve CEO Kim Rivers has openly bragged to the Florida Trend about how Amendment 3 could be a historic boon to her company. Rivers is right. Since Amendment 3 bans homegrown pot and grants, I hate the word pot, and grants special licenses to mega marijuana companies like Trulieve, it is simply a vehicle to strengthen the company's monopoly over what could become a $6 billion market. Rivers last week admitted on X that she wrote the amendment herself and purposely decided to exclude homegrow. So there you have it. It's kind of in writing. Things can certainly get miscued with the media, but it's unfortunate that this has just become a massive money grab. Because what about the patient? We passed a medical program to help patients who are suffering from debilitating conditions, and now you have the company that has profited the most, that has the most dispensaries, stepping on the heads of those patients to pass a recreational bill that makes all adults 21 and over available to be able to purchase products taxed and restricted, right? Mm-hmm. So, and what people don't understand is this doesn't free things up, right? So it doesn't open the market. What it does is it restricts it even more because they have to understand vertical integration. Vertical integration, the grower owns the processing, the extraction, the dispensing, the delivery, all the way up. So you're literally empowering one dispensary to monopolize the entire state. And the one that has the most standing power is this one right here. Mm-hmm. So
they have almost double the number of dispensaries than the next competitor.
130 plus, So, and look, we're not against recreational marijuana.
Right.
I don't think it should have ever been illegal, to be honest with you, but here we are. You can't pull a fast one on the public though and say, hey, we're going to pass medical, and in hopes that people are tricked by the medicinal benefits and then just turn the whole thing into a joke just so people can get stoned so you can make money so you can pay the salaries to your employees and appease your investors. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really work well. So it's hard to take it seriously. Never mind the cesspools that most of these states that have passed recreational, right? I'm not going to make it political, but let's be honest. They have turned into literally cesspools. The tax money isn't going to where it's supposed to be going.
Right.
And I feel like I've been rambling quite a bit. I am digressing here, but tax money is going in the pockets of the wrong people. And it's very similar to how this bill is being portrayed. Like
Right.
somebody got paid. Many people got paid. That 70 million wasn't just to pay the boots on the ground to the ones walking up to you smelling like weed, saying, "Hey, you want to pass recreational marijuana?" So, but it does not open up the market.
Right.
It doesn't. It actually restricts it even more. But what about the patient? So now, let's just say recreational passes in November. It goes into law 6 months later. None of the dispensaries are ready. They already can't keep up with the supply and demand now, right?
Right.
They're a little slow now because it's August, right? August, September. I'm sure they'd love for recreational to be there, but imagine the lines out the door, and then the 70-year-old Parkinson's patient, the 80-year-old cancer patient can't get the medicine that they need. They've been in the program for 8 years, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the vertical integration, it limits how many dispensaries can be out there, which is limits how many grows.
Yeah.
And that right there, I mean, what'll likely happen is the supply chain is going to implode, and like you said, patients won't get access. And I think it's important for people to understand too, we see patients every day. We know the medicinal benefits. We know how it's significantly improving people's lives. People have to understand that this is, recreational, it's fine. Like if you want to do recreational, make a separate bill.
Yeah.
Make it separated from the medical program so we're not hurting patients' access to a medicine that's literally, I mean, we have people come in all the time. This is saving my life.
Saying you're going to have a separate line of the dispensary is not good enough, in my opinion, right? So it should be a separate dispensary altogether, right? So, and separate the licenses too, because I would love to just cater to medical patients, in perpetuity, right? I mean, we built an incredible platform. We document the strain and the route that helps people get off of specific drugs, as well as the alleviates the ailments that they suffer from, and we can literally facilitate what patients should use per their condition and per the drugs that they're taking, so the dispensary don't care about that. It's mind boggling. We millions of dollars and thousands of hours have been invested in this software and platform that we built. And, we've reached out to the dispensaries. Hey, we can facilitate this. They don't care, because it's all a big money grab. And it's always been about passing recreational marijuana.
And it's evident too by the type of advice that you often get at dispensaries, right? Like a patient will go down there and say, well, I need it for this. Well, this makes me feel a certain way. Great. But it's an individual response. Everyone's different.
Everybody's different.
So it's important. Like that's why the software is so valuable, because it can help, it aggregates all that information, and you can have a better understanding of what may actually work for you per condition, per cannabinoid.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Not, well, this makes me feel great, so you should try it. That doesn't really work so well.
Yeah, it's a personal response, like you said. People with a redhead gene have a high tolerance. So, yeah, I mean, I think again, not against recreational marijuana. It's still going to be criminalized, right? So the police are still going to bust you, right? They still don't like it. It's not going to just be open. It doesn't free the flower at all. It actually restricts it even more, but empowers certain dispensaries, that to take over the state. And only the strong are going to survive. There's already some that are struggling right now that are going to implode. They're going to go BK, and these ones, the big sharks, are going to come and scoop them up. And then they're going to Monsanto-size the products.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Being very holistic people, we eat clean, we do well with that. To even think that they could manipulate the medicine that we have now, especially with, the state, they do all the lab testing on all the products, and that makes it very safe. But when you start to get too big and it becomes more of a monopoly, which the bill really, looks like it could go that way. That's when products start to get Monsanto-sized, if you like. I think it's a great term. And then we're getting a lesser quality product. We're going to get, and then there's limits too on how much people can buy.
Yeah, you're going to get less and pay more because of taxes.
Yeah, so, and we're looking at probably anywhere from 25 to 40% tax if it trends.
Excise tax or whatever.
I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah. But you know what? No one cares on their side because they're going to make more money because people are coming in the door. I mean, think about it. Everybody 21 and over, with all the tourists and all the people that come down there, they're going to crush it when it comes to, how much money they're going to make. But, we've never been about profit. We've always been about, caring for the patient, and we'll remain there, but we're not against recreational marijuana, but we're definitely against Amendment 3, so hopefully there can be some kind of salvation here, solace, because it's very disheartening to watch, especially the dispensaries marketing the Amendment 3 to the patients. Where do they get off? How do they get the right to do that? Right. I mean, that's so unethical. It's disgusting, right? They're email blasting the patients. Vote yes on Amendment 3. Like you're literally trying to sway patients on a political agenda now. Mm-hmm. Like it's just so unethical. And there's definitely going to be lawsuits. There's going to be all sorts of a shitstorm that's going to happen from this, and I guess we're kind of stuck in the middle of all of it.
And just to be clear, we're not trying to tell anybody how to vote. What we are is trying to illustrate the other side of the equation.
Because people don't understand.
Because people don't understand how this works, and it's not being propagated that way through the email blasts and through everything else. So you're only seeing one side, and we just want to be the voice of the other side, the voice for the patient, the people that are suffering out there that need access to this. I don't want to see them get caught in the crossfire and not be able to get products.
Yeah.
That would just be criminal.
And that's going to happen, so it's our job to do the best we can to try to at least educate and not necessarily sway anybody, but we'll see what happens, but definitely, like or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to keep making content like this and updating people, and it's going to get juicy here in the next 30 days or 60 days. That's for sure. So,
and give us your thoughts. We want your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah. Are you voting for it? And if you are, tell us why. And if you're not voting for it, tell us why too, because I think that will create some good engagement and a learning process for all of us. So we'd be interested to see how your thoughts are for that.
That's right. We learn more together, guys.
Happy healing to you. Remember, being high is better than being low.
All day long.
All right. Take care.